Hello? How do you start a podcast? I've never actually thought about how to do it. You think 60 episodes in, maybe it would have crossed my mind. Okay, well, I'll do it properly this time with like we'll hold a little like ceremony if you want. In fact, I do happen to have a marching band here. Let's bring them out. It's the Purgatory Podcast marching band, everybody. Yes. Yeah, they're in junior high. But I was in a marching band in junior high too, and we sounded exactly like that. We had to do 3 parades every Memorial Day in 3 different towns. It was like a fucking gauntlet. Why did we do that? We weren't getting paid. It was like a job for a kid. Like nobody else, there weren't any other marching bands around. Half of these towns don't even have a police department. It's like if it wasn't us, they were gonna have to go down to the county jail and just like, it's like, okay, we've got enough license plates for the time being. Today you guys are gonna be playing some John Philip Sousa. Never played an instrument before? Well, you never made license plates before, and look at you now. You can fly, you beautiful birds. Let's go! And they put him in cuffs, and... You ever try to play a clarinet in handcuffs? I could barely do it, unshackled. Because I didn't ever practice at home, I just showed up and... I mean, I could play along well enough, but... The harder stuff, I was just like, yeah, whatever. The notes are just made up anyway, someone just made them up. Ever heard of improv? Ever heard of jazz? Jazz is as much about the notes you play as the notes you don't play. So if you don't play any of the notes, it's like really gives you time to think about people who died in battle. Every year they pulled a kid from the trumpet section and he would play taps at all 3 of the ceremonies at the end. It just seems like some old guy should be doing that. Not like, some kid with a boner, because we all had boners the whole time. You ever tried to play taps with a boner? I got a lot of questions for you on this episode. Have you ever tried to play clarinet in handcuffs? And have you ever played taps hard? On today's episode, we have Alligator Man. I don't fucking know. Who cares? I don't have anybody. There's nobody here. I tried to get Alligator Man, but he's on Fallon tonight, so... I'll just say whoever is repping Alligator Man is really knocking it out of the park. I recently heard Alligator Man was in the White House meeting with Trump and various crooks and weirdos and freaks. And Alligator Man was honestly like the most normal guy. But you go viral in one video by eating somebody's dog, and next thing you know, you're talking to Talk To It. You're talking to Theo Vaughn. You're talking about Man, why would Talk To It be the first one I think of? I gotta get right with the Lord. And I gotta reach out to Alligator Man. Yeah, I bet a lot of you are thinking, oh, I bet Alligator Man's gonna call now. I bet he's gonna say, oh, I'm getting a phone call, it's gonna be an Alligator Man. Well, you're wrong. You're not gonna see hide nor hair. Mostly hide. Of Alligator Man. Is it called the hide when it's a gator? It sucks that you have to be like accurate when you say stuff. You're like, oh, well, hold on a second. Is that right? Like, what a hindrance. Why can't anybody just let me make stuff up? And all of that stuff I said about Alligator Man being in the Oval Office with Trump, I didn't fact check that. I actually learned that from Alex Jones communicating to me in a dream. And it was definitely him. I could tell because of how red he was. And what happened to Alex Jones? I know it's weird to say, like, what happened to this guy who we know has always been insane. I'm thinking of that because I saw a video of him from like 30 years ago. And it was pretty much just that he was skinny and he looked and sounded different, but he was basically just saying the same shit. It would have been much funnier if he was talking about, like, astrophysics or something, and then the next day he's like, actually, I'm pretty sure the Anunnaki are returning to enslave us. That would fucking suck. That would not be on my bingo card for 2025, I'll tell you what. Dude, it would suck so much if aliens came down and made us work for them. It's much better when we grow aliens on our own planet and just be enslaved by the oligarchy that they create instead. That's the kind of enslavement I like. I don't know about you. By the way, I heard Alligator Man was there on January 6th, so... The January 6th jokes, they gotta die at this point, right? It's like, that's a completely different chapter in the decline of America. Like, try to keep up with the decline, okay? We're way past January. It's like, that's ancient history. Now we're at not knowing if bird flu is spreading or not, because all of the apparatus in place that would allow us to know that is being gutted completely for no discernible reason. Trying to make a joke about that, Dr. Fuckhead SNL writer. Yeah, that's right. All the writers on SNL, they're doctors. They got a PhD in make-em-ups. It's pretty funny that, like, there's a sort of academic, like, the kind of Harvard Conan track of, like, being Ivy League educated, and then you get your big break, and it's just, like, David S. Pumpkins. But I don't know, I didn't go to school to learn how to write jokes. I went to school to learn how to chew gum and podcasts, and I'm all out of gum. Also, I can't believe I wasted money learning how to chew gum. It's fucking colleges, man, it's a scam. Well, today's Sunday. I don't know. And if you think I'm just stalling because I don't know what to say next, I need you to look deep in your heart, and I need you to ask yourself why you're like this. Why do you doubt me? Why do you think I don't know what I'm gonna say? I know what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say the following. This episode brought to you by Geico. Don't crash your car, idiot. We're all out of money. Geico. Don't crash your car, we're all out of... Well, then why are they still putting ads out there? Is this their way of saying they're shutting down? There's no other information, very vague. Maybe some of the ad reads later in the episode will clarify that. I'll just do the next ad read just to see if we can, like, shed any light on what's going on with Geico. Are they losing interest in insurance? Are they gonna be like Yamaha, where the president is like, when I want to make a speaker, and then I want to make a motorcycle! And they did both. So maybe that's the direction Geico's going in. Here's the next ad read. I'm gonna do it early. Geico, we're done. We're just so absolutely fucking done with all of it. Fuck you and fuck everybody and good night. Geico. Well, that one makes it pretty clear. I guess they're just out of the insurance game, so if you have Geico, I'm sorry you're hearing this here first, I assume. I mean, assume this is new. You know, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. Not sure how that applies to this situation, but felt like something I could say. You know, this just goes to show, like, how you'll go along with anything as a kid because you're just kind of dumb. You don't know what's going on. When people used to say it's a dog-eat-dog world, I used to hear it as it's a dog-eat-dog world. And I thought that the wisdom contained in that was just that there's a lot of dogs in the world. There's a lot of dogs out there. That's something that you need to know as an adult. And every time I went outside, I was like, well, this further vindicates, yeah, it is a dog. There's a fucking lot of dogs out here. So why would I have any reason to question it if it would seem to be true? It is a dog-eat-dog world. And then as you get older, you realize these things. It's not a dog-eat-dog, it's dog-eat-dog. And as you know, dogs are eating each other all the time. You can't go outside without coming across dogs eating each other. You try to drive to work, you have to stop in the middle of an intersection because there's 5 dogs all eating each other in the middle of it. You just wait. And you might think, how do 5 dogs all eat each other? Seems to me there's always going to be one dog left. Well, I've seen it happen. They obviously put a lot of thought into how to all eat each other because there was no dogs left. There were, like, no dogs. I don't know. But it's a dog-eat-dog world. That's also not really even a good... It might be true, but it's not a good mentality to have. It's not a good attitude to propagate. It's only... We're the dogs in this scenario. You understand that? We don't have to eat each other. We can just be normal. We can do it normal style. We can be like human beings. We're famous for not eating each other that much. We should just speak plainly. We should just use words in a very direct, clear way instead of trying to be fancy. If you get too fancy, then you're hiding behind the words. Now the words are doing the opposite of what words are supposed to do. I think we should go back to grunts, and I think we should go back to whistles. And I think between those two, we can pretty much make it work. I'm tired of talking, right? You gotta be tired of talking at some point. My vision for America and the world would be we stop talking, we all figure out what kind of art we're good at, and we do that to communicate instead. Is that feasible? Not really. You can't pay your water bill with a watercolor painting because it has water, so you're like, here's some of the water back, I made a picture for you. It can't work like that. But I think people would be healthier. I think a lot of people need an outlet. I really do think that's at the heart of some problems. Like, half the people who are riled up about immigration, really what I'm hearing from them is like, I just want to do something with oils. You know, that's what I hear. There's got to be a better outlet for all this energy that's building up. Because it stems from a lack, and then it latches on to something that we're told is important by whatever propaganda outlet we happen to be plugged into. Or like, hey, I just found something to think about every single day for the next 5 years, and then something else will take the place of it, and I'll forget that I ever cared about the other thing. Remember the wall? The wall in Mexico? That was a huge thing in 2016. Like, he was like, we're gonna build a wall, this is why you're gonna vote for me, and everyone's like, we're gotta vote for this guy or the wall's not gonna get built. And then the guy got elected. He's like, actually, it's just kind of too hard and there's other stuff going on. And everyone was like, okay. And now he's back, making no mention of it. It's really funny. Like that, but that is the good outcome. It's like that he just doesn't do anything. He seems to be different this time. He's being driven by all of these weird tech bro guys and oligarchs. It's a fucking menagerie. Well, anyway, hold on, I gotta take this call. Hello? Oh, this is Chuck Charles. Chuck Charles in the traffic chopper. How's it going, Chuck?
Yeah, it's going alright. Just wanted to remind you, the helicopter?
Yeah, I know the helicopter. Yes, I know it.
Well, it's insured by Geico, so you might wanna look into that.
Did you call them?
Yeah, I tried to get through, and some guy, he told me never to call there again, or he was gonna come after my family.
Wow. Yeah, these guys at Geico are brutal. I mean...
Well, yeah, I thought that was pretty important because I'm in the helicopter, and right now it's not insured. Nothing's insured.
What about you?
Only everything below the waist, everything above the waist. It's open season on that, I guess.
What do you mean it's open season?
That means dogs can come eat it.
No, the dogs are too busy eating other dogs. Don't you understand the saying at all, what it means?
No, it means... I don't know, I think we're both wrong, honestly. I think it's more like a metaphor.
You're so uneducated, and it just drips from everything you say. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, fuck you.
No, we're not supposed to be mean to each other, Chuck Charles. You're supposed to be the one person who's nice to me on the show.
No. No more Mr. Nice Guy. I hope this helicopter crashes again.
No, don't say that, man. Come on.
And I hope my family gets paid for my legs.
Why would they be paid for your legs? What are you talking about?
I was keeping track of my steps, so I submitted that to the insurance company. More steps, the more money they're worth.
Man, I don't know what you got tied up in, but that's just absolutely not how anything works. If anything, it would be the opposite. It'd be like a car. Like, it would pretty much as soon as you came out of the womb, you were depreciating in value.
Alright, well, clearly you want to go on with your podcast, so I guess I'll just hang up.
Alright. I'm sorry for not including you. Why don't you say something interesting? Such as, information about the traffic? Might as well, since you're up in a traffic chopper.
Yeah, sure, whatever. 3-car pileup.
3-car pileup? Where?
At the corner of Route 12 and Route 7, 3-car pileup. Oh, well, actually, now that I'm getting a good look at it, it looks pretty brutal. There's blood. Oh, there's blood. Oh, there's guts. Oh, there's gore and guts and blood. Oh, that guy's arms switched places.
Okay, well, we only need like a certain level of detail. We just need to know kind of the basics. This doesn't have to be like a Walking Dead episode. And
Yeah, okay.
well, is there anything else going on?
Oh man, where do I even start? The price of eggs?
No, I meant with traffic, Chuck. Come on, man.
You know what, man? Why don't you fly a drone up in the air, put a shitty little camera on it, and you can just see the traffic for yourself.
I mean, that's actually a pretty good idea. I was just keeping you around because of your personality, but it took until this episode for me to realize that your personality is just like a soda can full of piss.
Buddy, I hope you got your ass insured, because as soon as I'm on terra firma again, I'm coming for it.
All right, Chuck, thank you so much. We got to keep things moving, though. Yeah, what is this show? What's a podcast? How do you make a podcast? It seems like this is what they would make you do in hell. Did Dante talk about the ring of hell where you have to make podcasts? All the podcasters go there, and they have to interview each other for eternity. I know about it because it's where I am right now. I got to do an interview with Pod Save America after this. I don't know what to talk about. I don't even know what to talk about on my own podcast. Also, you know, it's called Pod Save America. When is that plan going to come to fruition? It'd be funny if the Pod Save America guys were being funded by, like, Peter Thiel. What if everybody you like, you just find out, oh, Peter Thiel is backing them? What if someone came up to you and they're like, do you like Radiohead? Well, did you know they're actually backed by Peter Thiel? He pays for all of their guitars. It's like, doesn't seem like you need that kind of money just to get a hold of guitars. But these are guitars that make you live forever. Of course they're connected. Creep was about Peter Thiel. What the hell is he doing here? He doesn't belong here. He belongs back at Madame Tussauds. I gotta bring out Slurp Von Lipstick. Have you seen a picture of him? That's what I'm saying. He's like sweaty, like he looks like wax. Okay, I just wanted to make sure you understood that. I gotta bring out Slurp Von Lipstick, someone who's completely real. Has no affiliation with Peter Thiel whatsoever. He's a man of his own. I don't know. I don't care anymore. Just bring him out. Slurp Von Lipstick, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. I thought I would just be transparent and say I have been tapped for a cabinet position in the new Trump White House, the Department of Time. Not that I should be saying this, but basically a condition of the job was like, you'll manipulate time and brainwash people into thinking time is moving at a different rate, so it makes it look like I'm getting more accomplished in a shorter amount of time. I mean, if you're going to lie to people I'm fine with lying to people about everything, but not the time. So if you've seen me in the news recently, that's probably why. It could also be because of the other thing I did that was newsworthy, which was getting stuck in a water slide and causing the largest water slide backup that has ever been recorded in history. The thing is, I got out of there like 3 days ago, but they're still picking some kids out of there because it just got tangled up. It was like a rat king at that point. Just the screams just echo through my mind. I mean, they were my screams, but I'm like, when I heard myself actually screaming in a real situation that threatened my life, I was kind of thinking like, oh, I'm scared and this is really scary to me. But I was also thinking, my scream game, it's shit. That's what a lot of the kids said. They said I sounded like shit when I screamed. I'm like, I'm sorry. I wasn't planning on doing so much screaming today. I put on a lot of weight recently. I was also wearing a full suit of knight's armor. I don't really feel like explaining why. Like, I don't want to dump all this stuff on you. I don't want to trauma dump. Whatever, it's 10:46 p.m. 10:46 at night. So I told you what time it is. So scream. Get lost. Get lost, kid. Take a few bucks, get yourself a pack of gum. Alright? There's nothing else for you here. I got nothing else, you know? Not for you anyway, but I do have something for our timeline caller of the week. Someone who needs to be reminded of something they need to do at this time of night. They're relying on us to call them and remind them they need to do that thing. This week's caller's name is Yogurt Richards. He wanted us to call him to remind him that he needs to close the door of his pantry. He thinks a ghost keeps getting in there and keeps eating food, which, I mean, I challenge that because I think if you're an incorporeal being, you can't interact with physical matter, so there's no way they're eating his food. But that's what he thinks, and I don't know why he thinks a door is going to stop them. Let me dial him up right now. Yogurt Richards, you're on the line, buddy. Guess what?
Is this the timeline?
That's right, Yogurt Richards. This is the timeline. I'm here to remind you need to close the door to your pantry because there's hungry ghosts about, according to you, according to your narrative.
Do you doubt the existence of ghosts?
It's not that I doubt the existence of ghosts. It's just like, this is a problem I have with a lot of horror movies. Like, if the thing from The Grudge came out of my TV, it's like you shouldn't be able to physically harm me because you're not a physical being. If you can physically harm me, that implies I can physically harm you because it's just atoms interacting with each other. So if you can crawl out of my TV and take me out, then I should be able to basically curb stomp you and just deal with it.
Well, I'm still worried they could eat my crackers.
No, they can't eat your crackers because the crackers are physical.
Hey, flavor blast the goldfish. Whatever will they think of next?
Who is that?
What? Did you hear something? I didn't hear anyone.
Yeah, I just heard a guy say, flavor blasted goldfish. But again, even if that really was a ghost, I'm telling you, he can't eat your goldfish because they're physical.
I'm physically eating this with my physical mouth. It's physical food that tastes good to me.
Huh. Maybe I don't know how the rules work. Hey, Yogurt, you might want to go down to your pantry and just, see what's going on. It sounds like maybe there's somebody down there.
Oh my god, I opened the pantry and there's a physical ghost eating my physical food.
Well, why don't you kick his ass? Get him out of there.
Well, I've been here long before him, see?
Wait, he can hear me? How does that work? Okay, well, this podcast doesn't really deal with the paranormal. I did what I needed to do. I told you to close the pantry door. You failed to do that, and a ghost is eating all of your goldfish.
I'm trying to hit him with a broom, but it's going right through him.
Wait, what is going through him? These rules are bullshit. He can eat food, but you can't hit him with a broom? Ghosts are way OP. We need to nerf ghosts. They can do way too much. Alright, well, best of luck to you, Yogurt.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you one of me, say?
No, you can't kill him.
I'm gonna get him with my ghost knife.
That's not a thing. There's no such thing as a ghost knife. Shut up. Alright, well, thanks a lot, everybody. I've been Slurp on Lipstick. I've done everything I need to do. And by the way, as the owner of the Purgatory Podcast, which was explained thoroughly a few episodes ago, my purchase of the Purgatory Podcast, I've decided to sell it to another buyer. I just needed the money because my insurance company was charging me an arm and a leg for my arm and my leg, which are the only parts of my body that are insured. So I just sold the podcast, and the only person who was interested in buying, which you're probably not going to like this, but Peter Thiel was the only guy who was interested in buying the podcast, so he said he was going to be hands-off, because he basically said, I'm more focused on, becoming the Antichrist. But, personally, as for me, I separate the professional and the personal. I don't judge. So thank you, as always, to our corporate overlords, and thanks to Geico. Do I have to read this? Do I have to read this ad at this point? Do I have to do it? Okay, they're telling me I have to read it. Okay. Geico. Save 15% by switching to Geico. Save 100%. Save 200%. We always hated you and we never liked you. Geico. Alright, well, that was a time check. Thank you so much for coming out, and I think next week's going to be even better because the time is going to be completely different. If it was the same time, I don't know how I could live with myself if I did the same time twice in a row. You demand more of me, and you deserve better. But I'll start getting better next week. I don't feel like doing it this week. Thank you, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Give it up for Slurp on Lipstick, the host of Time Check, your favorite podcast segment, where the whole point of the segment is just checking the time. That's its own whole category at the potties. I went to the potties last year. I don't know if that was the right award show, because that one was fucking weird. biggest toilet, smallest toilet, who cares? And I was like, I don't know why I stayed for all 7 hours of it. The thing is, I actually was nominated for one of the potties. And it turns out I actually spent the most cumulative time on a toilet this year than anyone else on Earth. Like, how do you know this? But they said, we can tell just by looking in your eyes. You've spent a lot of time on the toilet. You're a brave soldier. I said, thank you. And then I cried. I mean, it's an amazing award show. It's better than the Oscars. Look, I'm just trying to fill time with words. What are you trying to do? What's the difference between this and just, like, normal life? You're just trying to fill the time. Question is, what are you filling it with, you know? Are you, trying to eat other dogs? Or are you trying to feed other dogs? Or are you just, like, barking at the stars? Barking at the stars. That's the name of my next young adult fiction novel, where 2 dogs fight each other for food. The alternative working title was The Hunger Games, but that didn't really pan out. But I don't have a dog, and I don't think I'd really want one. Even though I like dogs, I just like cats more. Cats kind of like move about the world as if like they're executing some grander plan that you couldn't possibly understand. And if you don't understand, they're pissed off about it. It's like, yes, I'm gonna climb the curtains, and yeah, now I'm gonna lick the curtains. What do you not understand about this? I live in your house. This is what I do. I think maybe cats like portray themselves to be wiser than they are. Like if you have a cat, it's always thinking like, I need to transport the souls of the dead to their resting place. And I can do that as soon as I figure out how to get out of the dryer. Our cats just get sidetracked. Hey, so do we, you know? Well, whatever. That's the show. I also haven't given a lot of thought into how to end the show. I guess I could bring out the marching band again. I mean, they're here. So might as well. I guess that would be a good finale. Alright, boys. Light them up. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next week. I'll hear you. You'll hear me next week. I'm not gonna see you. I don't want to see you. Okay, bye.